Hey everybody, this is Moto60 here with my trademark headphones on the webcam once again for a change. This was originally going to be just an audio only rant like most of them, for quickness of uploading, but I've decided to make this a video rant because it emphasises the point better. This rant is going to be about the new laws that are being passed here in the UK about illegal downloading. For those who are not familiar with this is the situation. Currently going through Parliament are various new laws that will allow ISPs, internet service providers, to track anyone who has a BitTorrent, LimeWire or other downloading program to see if they download any sort of illegally download for free any sort of music, movies, TV or whatever other media have you. If you are caught, then you are sent a number of warning letters. If you persist, then you can have your internet both either slowed down or cut off completely for a brief period of time. And I am against this personally, not because I wish to condone or encourage the sole use of illegal activity to obtain media, but because I think that this quote-unquote illegal activity actually does a lot more for the industry than you might expect. Now, I am a frequent user of torrents. Everyone knows that I'm a metalhead. I love classic rock and heavy metal as well as a few other genres, and here is a list, a sneak peek of all the music I have. See, this is about 16 gigs worth, 15 to 16 gigs worth of music. It's not all complete, but hopefully it should do. Yeah, and this, and these, and behind me, get out of the way, and behind me are all my CDs there. Now, why am I showing you this? Because while I am an avid torrent user, I use it solely to expand my knowledge on music, to learn of new bands so that I can support the industry better. You can clearly see how much music I have bought legally. That is all the CDs here I have bought over time on a semi-regular basis because I love the music. I want to support the artists. However, torrenting allows me to learn about these artists in the first place, and I have to admit, I don't have a lot of money going around. I'm on job seekers allowance and just paid off a debt to my mother, because I'm just getting into the whole, paying for rent in my place thing, before I actually have to do it for real, which is something I'm more than willing to do. But as such, I'm very limited in what I can spend, and so I don't always get the chance to go and actually buy this music. And so I have torrented quite a lot of my existing music. However, I now plan soon to use iTunes to legally download them and pay just a bit each week for them, especially considering that iTunes has quite a wide selection. But that is one problem that torrents solve. Not all shops have a great selection of music. They might have quite a lot, but if you're like me and you like a lot of obscure power metal bands, they're not going to be in the shops. It's very hard to find. Hell, I had trouble finding a lot of albums by Dio in the shops. I found maybe Holy Diver, but that was about it. I've seen Heaven and Hell. You can find the most recent albums, a few compilation albums, but you rarely find a lot of the back catalogue. You often have to go online for that, and sometimes it can be a lot more expensive online. But as I keep saying, I've expanded my musical taste a lot because of torrents, and this does it for many other people too. And it gives new bands exposure to new people and new audiences that they wouldn't otherwise know. And while their music may be torrented at first, they generally gain a lot more than if they were just, out there to begin with. I would like to ask everyone here, I obviously favorited some of these bands, but I would like you to to tell me if before I favorited these, before I made the video, hold on. So, if before I favorited them, have you heard of these bands? Rebellion, Hide and Glory, Silent Force, Holy Hell, Axel Rudy Pell, Power Quest, Irion, Pyramaze, Storm Warrior, etc., etc. Pegasus, Gaia Epicus, Kane's Offering, so on and so forth. While some of you may have heard of these, they aren't very well known. They aren't mainstream. So how on earth are these bands supposed to get out there, if, no one's allowed to even preview their content? Now, don't get me wrong. I can understand that there is a concern in the music industry that is going to collapse because of torrents and people taking things for free. Technically it could be considered stealing, but then listening to the radio on someone else's radio is technically stealing because you're hearing it somewhere else and you're not owning it yourself, you're not paying for it yourself. But really, honestly, these companies really have little to fear about, because the statistics have shown that people who download are by far much more music in the first place, because they want to support their band, they want to support the artists that they've heard and that they enjoy quite a lot. Hell, if it wasn't for the internet, I would not have even gotten into many of the most famous bands out there, such as Iron Maiden, Metallica, Judas Priest, and many other of the legends of rock and heavy metal. And I wouldn't be the massive Manowar fan that I am today. And every time I go out to, on a special outing, I always try to buy CDs. When I'm asking for gifts, it's always CDs. Hell, here's just a few that I, bought as presents and bought myself. Manowar, Kings of Metal, Iced Earth, Night of the Storm Rider, Alice Cooper, Trash, and what I got for Christmas last year, Tiara, My Winter Storm. And I think I can make my point quite clear there. If it wasn't for the file sharing, and it wasn't for me torrenting these few bands, I would have never had the large amount of music collection I have today. Besides, the system that they're trying to enforce is flawed to begin with. People are this is the internet, people are easily going to find ways around it. Hackers are very persistent. There are already methods whereby you can hide your IP address. It doesn't make a lick of difference, and soon you'll be able to, every torrent program will be able to hide their IP address and be able to hide their identity so that they cannot be detected and that they cannot have these penalties put on them. And really, it's just an unneeded barrier, in all honesty. And you can also hack into other people's wireless internet, as has been shown on Panorama, where I got this information from, which is a British current events documentary series. It's quite easy to hack, and has been done before, where people have hacked into other people's wireless networks and used their IP address to download from them and use their content instead. Hell, leeching is, for unprotected wireless is still a common thing. So in conclusion, we need more sites like Deezer.com and iTunes, where you can legally, for a very cheap price or for free, download music. And with the anime with Funimation's website and Crunchyroll, you watch it for free and listen to it for free, and you get and they get ad revenue, and they get money from you watching it, just watching it, so that they can provide it, and everybody's happy. And we can continue to support the music industry and support the bands we love, go to their concerts, buy their new albums as much as we can possibly afford. Hell, that's what I'm doing, and I hope that everybody else does too. I'd like to hear everyone else's opinions on this. So in the comments section below, please leave your opinions on it if you so wish, and tell me if you've heard of any of the bands mentioned before that I felt were kind of obscure. This is Moto60, and I shall see you all on the dark side of the moon. Off and away.